So hi guys, in this video let us discuss about the flaps based on the branches of axillary artery. As we all know, axillary artery supplies a lot of flaps which are used in clinical practice for the head, neck, face region as well as the trunk region. So let us see the vascular basis of these flaps which are based on the branches of the axillary artery. First let us see in brief the anatomy of the axillary artery. Axillary artery gives us, or rather is divided into three parts. The first part is proximal to the pectoralis minor. The second part of the axillary artery is behind the pectoralis minor, and third part of the axillary artery is distal to the pectoralis minor. Now the first part of the axillary artery gives rise to single branch, second part gives two branches, and third part gives three branches. Now coming to the first part of the axillary artery over here gives rise to the superior thoracic artery. The superior thoracic artery supplies the upper part of the pectoralis major, but there is no specific important flap which is based on the superior thoracic artery. Now the second part of the axillary artery, which is behind the pect minor, gives two branches. One is the thoracoacromial artery. Thoracoacromial artery is divided into four branches. We have the pectoral branch, we have the clavicular branch, we have the deltoid branch, and we have the acromial branch. From our point of view, this is the important part. The pectoral branch of the thoracoacromial artery forms the basis of PMMC flap. Now the second part of the axillary artery also gives rise to the lateral thoracic artery. Lateral thoracic artery also forms the vascular basis of the PMMC flap. Although it might not be the predominant blood supply, it is commonly, or rather in 10 to 13% of the cases, in females, the lateral thoracic artery forms the predominant blood supply of the pectoralis major muscle flap or the myocutaneous flap. In addition, the cutaneous perforators of the lateral thoracic artery can form the basis of the lateral thoracic artery perforator flap. So this was about the first part of the axillary artery and the second part of the axillary artery. Now coming to the third part of the axillary artery. Third part, which is distal to the pect minor, gives rise to three branches. First is the subscapular artery, which is the largest branch. Second is the anterior circumflex humeral artery, and third is the posterior circumflex humeral artery. Let us talk about subscapular artery in the next slide. The anterior circumflex humeral artery does not form the basis of any specific flap. It supplies the head of the humerus and part of the shoulder. The posterior circumflex humeral artery forms the basis of the deltoid flap. So this flap too is uncommonly used, but yes, it is a described flap, and based on the branches of the posterior circumflex humeral artery, we can use this flap for reconstruction of shoulder defects. Now coming to the subscapular artery, which is the first and the major branch of the third part of the axillary artery. We will see the flaps based on the subscapular axis. Coming to the subscapular artery, it divides into two main branches, the circumflex scapular artery and the thoracodorsal artery. So circumflex scapular is the first branch, it is the larger branch, followed by the thoracodorsal artery. Now circumflex scapular artery forms the basis of the scapular flap. So this scapular flap is transversely oriented. It is based on the transverse cutaneous branch of the circumflex scapular artery. We have the parascapular flap, which is vertically oriented. It is based on the descending cutaneous branch of the circumflex scapular artery. So the circumflex scapular artery forms the basis of scapular and parascapular flaps. Now coming to the thoracodorsal artery. Thoracodorsal artery is here. This is the thoracodorsal artery. After giving rise to the circumflex scapular, we have thoracodorsal. It gives the serratus branch, it gives the transverse branch, and it gives the descending branch. Now the thoracodorsal artery forms the basis of the latissimus dorsi muscle flap. So this latissimus dorsi muscle flap can also be harvested with serratus. This again latissimus dorsi muscle flap, we can also base our flap based on the transverse branch, or only part of it can be based on the descending branch. In case of CA breasts where there is damage to the thoracodorsal pedicle, this latissimus dorsi flap can also be based on a reverse flow from the serratus branch. So in these scenarios also latissimus dorsi flap can be comfortably harvested. In addition to it, the descending branch also gives rise to cutaneous perforators 1, 2, 3, which forms 1, 2, 3, 4, which forms the basis of our Tdap flap. So again, these were the flaps which were based on the subscapular axis. So I think these were all the flaps and all the branches of the axillary artery and the flaps which can be based on them. So in the subsequent videos, let us also discuss about the flaps based on various systems on the femoral axis and few more axes as well. So I think that's all for now. Thank you.